Blog Talk Radio.
Well, welcome to yet another episode of XANDERMONIUM, the talk show that gets you talking. I'm your host, Xander Gibb, and today we will be interviewing one of the U.S.'s hottest LGBTQI, and whatever acronym they're adding on today, musicians, but more about that in a wee while. How are you going to cope? Well, I don't know about you, but I was especially moved this week by the comments made by President Obama in his inauguration speech around gay Americans. And this is what he said. He said, America's journey is not complete until our gay brothers and sisters are treated like anyone else under the law. For if we are truly created equal, then surely the love we commit to one another must be equal as well. I have to say, I was really blown away by this, and to the naysayers that suggest that this was just to ensure gay support. Believe me, he already has it. Surely it's time for America to work together on a bipartisan basis to make this great nation the greatest once again. We don't have to agree on every single little micropoint in order to agree that we need to evolve beyond that which we have become. God bless President Obama and all of those elected officials, and God bless America. Don't forget this week to check out the Jake Pentland Show on Saturdays, 1 p.m. PST, 4 p.m. EST, with Jake, Jen, and Eli, and all the culprit Jake peeps. And Time Out Seat with Brandy and Jenny. Sometimes it's 3 p.m. PST, 6 p.m. EST, right after my show. And sometimes it's a midweek show. So check their Twitter page at Time Out Seat to check exactly when that's going to be. Also, check out my sister from another mister, Fallon Stone, on the F Word X. Hot topics of discussion on next week's show was what is pretty. Obviously, Fallon, it's me on a bed of crisp lettuce. Okay, so if you're in the UK, watch my dear friend, Jeff Christian, on Celebrity Big Brother's Bit on the Side, CBB Bots for short. It's every Wednesday and Friday for evictions till January 25th, which is the final show. Where are we? Oh, that I think we've gone past that. I think that might be February. And follow him on Facebook and Twitter and tell him that Xander sent you. So my guest doesn't seem to be here right now. So if you're listening, Tom, please call in 347-884-9061. That's the call-in number for the show, too, if you want to call us with a question or comments, or you just want to tell me to go fuck myself, blah, 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 please give us a call. Hello to everybody in the chat room. Hi to Rich. Hi to Carly. Some people are saying that they can't hear the show. If you click a refresh on your computer, it should bring it up for you. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to do that. Oh, I think my guest has just called in. So let me give you a brief introduction, and then we will get going. So as I said at the foot of the show, I have a very hot LGBTQ, and we'll discuss the acronym later, equality artist on today. Tom Goss, who's a singer and musician, and he continues to stand at the forefront. His newest music video, Make Believe, and we're going to hear the track later on in the show, made a very big splash, generating over 70,000 views in its first week. I need to get some advice from Tom on how to get some more viewers on my YouTube page. Even gaining attention from the Huffington Post for its innovative use of human time-lapse and animation. Again, we're going to touch on that a little bit later. His previous videos have tackled Don't Ask, Don't Tell and marriage equality and have been featured in The Advocate, Out.com, MTV's Logo, Towler Road, and After Elton. generating over 350,000 views. A touring machine, Tom has performed in 40 states and over 100 cities to tens of thousands of listeners. I'm tired just thinking about those figures. Welcome to the show, Tom. Is that you on hold? Hello? Hello, is that you, Tom? Hello? Hello, speak now or forever hold your peace. No? Okay, well, I don't know if you can't hear me or if there's a problem, but you are live from a 202 number. Is that you, Tom? Yay or nay? It seems like the call has dropped, so I will go to something else, and then we will wait for Tom to call back in. This is the trouble with internet radio. Sometimes you get a lot of problems with the software, and it messes up on you, leaving you with not a lot to say about not very much. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the chat room. Where are we? Not much going on in the chat room. Someone says I'm speechless. Yeah, I am speechless. When you have a script and a show. Oh, here we are. Let's just see if this is Tom.
Hey,
hello,
Xander.
Is this Tom? Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I keep getting dropped. I'm in the middle of Pennsylvania, so I'm trying to find a really good signal, and I'm going to stop. So I really apologize.
Right. No problem. How are you today? Apart from being a little harassed.
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm brilliant. I wish it would be a little bit warmer, but apart from that, I'm doing very good. So where in the country are you today? Did you say you're in Pennsylvania?
I'm in Pennsylvania, yeah.
Wow.
It's really fun. Yeah.
What have you been doing in Pennsylvania, may I ask?
Well, I was actually just skiing, so I was skiing all day.
Wow.
And now I'm, getting ready to head home. So I'm looking forward to that. It was travel for pleasure, which is rare for me.
So is it a natural ski slope there, or is it one of these man-made thingies?
Well, I mean, it's western Pennsylvania, so it's so there's hills here. And I guess so.
You're breaking up a little bit there, Tom. We're only getting every other word. I don't know what's happening.
Oh, yeah?
That sounds a little bit better. I don't know what you did there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know about you, but I have a big problem categorizing myself and my music. What genre would you place your music in?
I find more and more that doesn't really matter. Everybody listens to everything. So I think it would be best if you call your music whatever you want to call it, and then people will disagree with you.
Right. Yeah, I think because whatever you categorize yourself in, people will say that it's something else, and some artists get kind of insulted if you say, "Oh, it's very poppy," it's like pop music, because that seemed to be a bit of a dirty word for a long time, pop.
Yeah, I always find that to be funny because if somebody calls my music pop music, I'm like, awesome.
Yeah.
Because I mean, pop is because it's popular, right?
Yeah.
So why would you not want it to be accessible by as many people as possible,
Absolutely. I think that the ideology behind it, so some people seeing it as a bit of a slur, is that some of the stuff that's categorized as pop is not that good. So they might kind of see that it's equated with that. But I don't care what people, at the end of the day, I don't care what people categorize my music as long as they buy it, as long as they enjoy it.
Yeah.
So what are your influences musically, Tom, and how do you feel they've influenced the kind of music that you write and the kind of musician you've become?
Well, I picked up the guitar because I was listening to a lot of Dave Matthews Band. So that was probably my first influence. a lot of David Gray, a lot of Ben Folds, Jack Johnson, people like, of course, people like the Beatles and so on and so forth. I think it's been different. I think Dave Matthews really inspired me to play the guitar. I think people like David Gray and the Beatles really inspired me to write better songs. So,
right.
I mean, I think my inspiration comes from a lot of places, but I think because I was influenced so much by Dave Matthews early on that my guitar playing is very percussive and it's very driven. And I would say because I've kind of I kind of pay attention to songwriting a lot, especially
right.
the songwriting of like the Beatles. It's so succinct and so powerful that my songwriting tends to be more along those lines. Really,
right.
Really tightly constructed pop songs.
So do you prefer to play for yourself, or would you rather have like accompanists?
Well, I tend to play by myself mostly because, I don't have a full band that comes on tour with me. It's just
right.
not easy financially. So, I mean, I love playing with other people. Don't get me wrong.
Me too.
But it just happens to be that I mostly play by myself. But playing with other people, there's an energy there. It's just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I love to sing with a band, but when I go perform, I think as I've got older, I've got a bit lazier, and so I go in the studio, I lay down the track, and I use that to perform and add on some live guitar sometimes. But I don't know, it's kind of it kind of depends on how I feel. Sometimes I really just want to kind of belt it out live and forget about the tracks and just do live numbers as in musically.
Well, I've never done anything to a track or anything like that either. It's interesting. I mean, it's almost sometimes like the studio recordings are different beings than the live recordings, just because
right.
They become so stripped down,
Right. I mean, I would never do playback vocally. I mean, there's been this big controversy last week with the inauguration with Beyonce Knowles singing, miming to a track. I mean, personally, it doesn't work for me, but I think that people that dance are very lively. I don't kind of have a problem with that somewhat, but as long as they're kind of honest about it. I mean, don't say you just sang it that perfectly if you're just miming the words. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's different. I mean, honestly, I think all of it's good, and I think all of it has its place. I'm really not not an artist that's going to judge any of that. It's just different,
No.
Seeing somebody doing a lip sync performance means there's probably a little more production value. It means there's probably a lot of dancing, and there's probably all these other things, and that's cool. No, I think that's cool too. I mean, what I do is different, and some people like what I do, and some people don't like what I do. So, I mean, there's a little bit for everybody. I'm just glad that there's so much out there that people can be into what they're into,
Absolutely. Someone told me about 20 years ago that your audience finds you and not the other way around, and I never kind of understood that. I used to think, surely you've kind of got to get out there and say, hey, like me, but it's really not like that in reality. I mean, I've even found that I've had people buy my music in Australia, and I've never even been to Australia. I've never even performed in Australia. It's just, I don't know, I just think it's all relative, really.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a combination. Things aren't black and white. So it's a combination of a lot of things. So, yeah, I mean, sometimes people find you, and sometimes you have to go find people. But at the end of the day, I think what you're saying is that the people that it connects to, it's going to connect to. You can't force that connection on people.
No, absolutely. So you're openly gay, and you do a lot of work within the gay community. Do you feel that coming out and being open about your sexuality has presented any drawbacks to your career? And do you still get hit on by women?
Well, I don't know if it has any drawbacks. I mean, I think that as an independent artist, there's a lot of drawbacks, but there's a lot of benefits as well. I mean, I suppose the answer is yes, but I don't really know. It's been rare that there's been somebody who wouldn't book me because I was gay. That's pretty rare. That's only happened once or twice in my entire career. So So yeah, so I don't think I honestly don't know because I'm not straight. I mean, I guess if I was straight and I had done it this both ways, that I would know, but I don't know. I feel good. I feel like what I'm doing is what I'm supposed to be doing, and the people that it's reaching are reaching for a reason. And I think I wouldn't be reaching a lot of those people who need this music if I was straight. So I suppose there's a benefit to that.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I mean, I get hit on by men and women, I suppose, a lot. I don't necessarily want to get hit on by men either because I'm married. So it's always like awkward. So I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. So yeah, I mean, you know, I think that people are attracted to other people, and that's all good. There's nothing wrong with that. So
no, absolutely.
I don't think that gets turned off because you're a different sexual orientation, you know.
No, not at all. I mean, I get more interest from women than men, which is sad, really. But you know, I think I often wonder when women hear me in a bar. I'm like, you know, can't you see my fag badge? I mean, it's like they're for all to see. I don't hide that I'm gay. I'm totally openly gay, but I still get hit on by women. But I always think that's going to be the dichotomy of being gay, really. Just
well, and I consider it all a compliment. I think it's great. You know, it's really flattering. And I think it's interesting that people, you know, if you're getting hit on and you're not sure, so you're saying you're not showing like the outwardly signs that you're whatever you're supposed to be as a straight man, and you're still getting hit on. I think that's great. I think that means that the person who's hitting on you is seeing something even deeper within you that they're really attracted to. They're seeing. I don't know, but it's cool. I think it's cool. I like getting hit on, I guess. But
me too.
I mean, I'm flattered by it, but it puts me in awkward positions sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely, especially if you're married, and we're going to come on to that a little bit later. Someone just said in the chat room, Rich said in the chat room, some people think because you are gay you can't be seen in a masculine role, and I really see that because as an actor, I almost 99% of the time get asked to play gay roles or to play the gay best friend or the gay this or the gay that, but I think it kind of in this kind of industry sometimes it can put you in a bit of a box.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you know, I'm not an actor, and that's one thing that I don't, you know, I basically am just me, and my music is about my life, and I speak about that openly, and so, you know, I don't have to worry about getting cast in a certain way, but I tend to not really worry about that. I think in general I'm very, very masculine person, but I do think there's parts of me that aren't that, and I think the best part about being gay, I mean, I was always a big jock. I was always, you know, I wrestled through college. I was always the person that was big and tough and could beat people up, and that was all great and fine and good and all. But I think the best thing about being gay is that you really can embrace the feminine aspects of your personality, and I think that's awesome because sometimes, you know, what's the worst as a straight man? You can be called a fag, right? So you do something, your wrist limps a little too low, and you get called a fag, you know. But if you are gay, then who cares? You know, limp your wrist as much as you want because someone calls you a fag, and you're like, okay, I already know that, you know. So I don't know. I like it. I like being masculine, and I like the time when I can be feminine and compassionate and vulnerable and all those things that we're not supposed to be as men. I like them both.
I think it's a shame for straight people really that they don't get to experience like every aspect of their personality because they've got to keep it in this box and say, yeah, hey, I'm this big jock and I can't cry at sad movies and, you know, shit like that because I think you as a gay person you're more in touch with kind of who you are, what you are, and your feelings, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm sure, like, sorry, go on. I talked over you. What did you say?
No, I said I'm with you all the way. I totally agree.
Cool. I'm glad we're singing from the same gay hymn sheet. Okay, so I'm sure, like most of us, you're happy with the fact that President Obama got in for another term. As I said at the foot of the show, I found his inauguration speech very moving. How do you feel about the president's moves towards equality?
I mean, I think that it's what needs to be done. I think that, I believe in justice. I believe in equality. I believe in equal rights for everybody. And so, I think it's great. I think it's awesome that he's doing it. I'm really proud of the steps that we've taken as a nation. But part of me feels like this is what should be done.
Absolutely.
We're like congratulating these people for doing the right thing. You know what I mean? It should be like, okay,
right.
yeah, we should be thinking of it more in terms of just normalcy. Like, okay, this is how life should be. Not, wow, they're doing such amazing things. I mean, I'm not taking it for granted. But, yeah, I think it's awesome. But I think we're moving towards normalcy. You know what I mean? I live the most normal, boring life one could lead. So it's like...
I see that.
That's what I think.
No,
that people...
I mean, just from my perspective, I see that because the bubbly, zany Xander Gibb that's out there is kind of not the same guy that is kind of behind closed doors. A lot of what you put out there as an artist and a performer is kind of a bit of a persona. And I know, just from my comedy roots and stuff that I have to kind of maximize that by at least 50 because otherwise people wouldn't want to come and see a show, You have to have that performance level to be able to put out there, I guess.
Well, I think one of the interesting things about my music is that, a lot of the songs that I've written that have really gotten really popular and that people like so much are just the songs about, day to day, waking up, loving your husband,
Right.
That's it. That's kind of, I'm just speaking about life, and not enough people have done that to our community. And so I think one of the things that attracts people to my music is the fact that I bring a real sense of normalcy to this gay life, you know what I mean? I'm not singing about being promiscuous or buying a lot of stuff or, living in a mansion. I'm singing about waking up on a Sunday morning and being next to the person you love. Like, simple as that,
Yeah, I really associate with that. So tell me a bit about your reasons for appearing semi-naked in the video for Make Believe. And tell us a bit about the time-lapse process used in the filming.
Well, what you're watching is one take. You're watching one 80-minute take that's sped up. Every second in the video is actually 30 seconds in real time, so it's sped up 3,000%. And it was interesting. I initially didn't want to be naked, but it was really hard. This is going to sound weird, but, if I'm wearing underwear...
It was really hard, was it, Tom?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, carry on.
That's okay, but the portion that's outside of your crotch, like your thigh and like your side butt, for lack of a better term, is a lot of canvas. So we really were concerned about breaking up the canvas of the piece. And I'm really glad that, once I kind of got comfortable with the idea, it took me a week or so to get comfortable with the idea. I was like, okay, fine, whatever, I'll take my clothes off. But it was really more about creating this thing that took you outside of the fact that there was someone there laying there naked.
Yeah.
And so there's so much going on, and it becomes this whole new world and this whole fantasy that you kind of forget I'm even there because there's so many other things going on that are interesting you. So I mean, what I really wanted to do was do this time lapse thing that was kind of push time lapse to the next level that people haven't really done yet. And so I called up my friend Scott Brooks, who's this amazing artist. And frankly, he's internationally known. He's so good. And frankly, I thought he'd just kind of laugh at me. That he was totally into it. So I was really pumped when we put together this whole thing, and it changed a lot. But it was hard. Took a lot of planning. But once we got to it, we just started nailing it. And I had what you don't see is there's about 10 people around a table that I'm laying at, and there's so many people that are making all that happen. And it was quite the production. But I was super proud of the team that we put together, and everybody did their role. Some roles were so boring. You know, all they had to do was like sit there and hand somebody a piece of paper over and over again. But I mean, everybody knew that they had to play their little piece to make that whole thing come together. And yeah, it was awesome. I'm really proud of everybody.
I mean, obviously, I've seen the video, and you have a fabulous body. So I guess you kind of, you just went in there and went for it. But if it was me, I would have had to kick everybody out of the room, cover myself up, and then let them kind of come in after that. Because otherwise, you've got like 25 people seeing your winky.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing about it is it's like, it's going to be weird to say this, but there was like a weekend of shooting, a weekend of setting up and shooting. And by the end of it, I was just pretty much like communal property. It was kind of weird. But it was like, it became such a non-issue. Like, everybody's doing their job, and I happen to be running around naked. You know what I mean? It was like, okay, it was like, everybody probably looks at my penis, the first 2 minutes, but then after that, it's like, okay, whatever,
Yeah, it's just another part of the set, isn't it? After 2 minutes,
exactly.
Really.
20 hours later, people are like, oh my God, I've seen that.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting because, of course, I'm laying there and I'm naked and I'm getting painted on, and then there's two other people that are doing puppets on me, and there's another person under the table, like doing another puppet on me. So it was like, and I couldn't, the thing about my role was that song is playing. The hardest part for me was the lips. The song, the 2 minutes and 17-second song got stretched out to an hour. So really what we were hearing the whole time was more like this ambient noise. And I had to really learn to practice to listen to that ambient noise to draw out where the words were coming and the consonants and the vowels. And I also had to stay super focused on the camera and, smile for 80 minutes straight. So I didn't think about anybody else looking at me or touching me at all. All I thought about was what words are coming next and keep looking at the camera.
Yeah, absolutely.
I really didn't have the luxury to be worried about anything else.
Yeah, I did. When I lived in London, I used to do a little bit of everything, and I got a call from my agent who said, would I come and do this shoot for this new jewelry line? It was like gothic jewelry and all of this. And I got there, and they said, oh, your costume is over there. And it was a loincloth. I had to have all of these pictures taken in a loincloth with all this various regalia, and I'm a big guy, I'm a chubby guy, so it was very hard for me, and it was like there wasn't a changing area. I went around and going to the bathroom to get changed, and I can only kind of equate your experience with that, but there was no way I was going to run around in a loincloth and in this cold country mansion, gothic mansion. It was not one of my most favorite days of work, to be honest. But it's memorable, and you come out of it with something visual to show the grandkids, as it were.
Exactly. Well, good work.
Sorry?
Good work.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I got through it. I got paid, and I got some pictures from it, which will never see the light of day. Unless they get really, really famous and the photographer sells them, of course. So tell us a bit about being named the best musician by the Washington Blade 2 years in a row.
Yeah, that's been really good. It's really humbling. I don't know what to say about that other than I really appreciate the people that vote for me. It's kind of this thing where you get nominated and then the people vote on you, and I think the thing that makes it really, for me, the thing that makes me appreciate it the most is that there's a lot of people that spend a lot of time telling people to vote for them online, for contests or I don't really know what. But I don't really like to do that, So I don't really publicize these things, and somehow word gets out, and people vote for me anyway. And so I feel really, really, again, really humbled by that. So yeah, it's been great, 2 years in a row, best musician, and I think it says a lot about the hard work that I've done in the community for the past 6 years. Every day, reaching out and connecting with people and playing shows and writing good music and writing better music and always producing a high-quality product. So I'm really pumped about that.
Cool. Yeah, and so do they give you an actual award, or is it just like a certificate in a frame?
I have these plaques that are actually very cool. I like them a lot.
Wow, that's
they're
cool.
They're like glass or something.
So that wasn't that was decided upon by votes and not by the publication itself. So it's actually people that have ticked a box or clicked a button to say that they voted for you.
Yeah, so the publication nominates folks, and then people vote on those folks.
Wow, that's
brilliant. And the
Washington
Blade is great. They've been really good to me over the years. I really am grateful for the relationship that we've had.
That's cool. So tell me, do you write all of your own songs, and what instruments do you play? Obviously, I know you play the guitar. Do you play anything else?
Yeah, I write my own songs. I play the guitar and keys primarily. So yeah, I mean, I'm not a great pianist. I write enough I play enough to allow me to write. And I play a very, very simple chord-based piano. But yeah, I mean, it's fun. I like it a lot. But yeah, I guess my guitar is primary for me. Me too. And I dabble a bit on the piano, but I would never kind of play it at a performance. I mean, my piano is so bad that No, and it's funny. People think I'm so good at the piano. They're always like, "There's this one guy like a month ago. He was like, you're really good at the guitar, but you're amazing at the piano." And I want to be like, "What were you listening to?"
Yeah,
what songs
absolutely.
were you listening to? So I don't know. I mean, you play. If you write a song on the piano and you play it 300 times live, you know what I mean. You get used to playing that one song. So people think you're good at it.
I guess it's a bit like with guitar. I mean, some songs I can play like with my eyes closed without even looking where my hands are going. But other songs that they're a lot more difficult to play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, do you ever sing covers? And if you did, what covers would you sing?
I don't sing covers very often, but I'm working on a cover right now of a Macklemore song, who's a rapper based out of Seattle, who's pretty much blowing up right now. And I've been really into him for a while, and the cover will probably be out in a couple of weeks, so I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, gosh, covers that I've done over the years, they're always a little strange. So Gnarls Barkley's Crazy, the Ting Tings, That's Not My Name. Those are really the only ones that I've done much over the past couple of years. I try to not play too many covers, simply for the fact that people come to my shows to hear my music, and
right.
I play songs for people so that they can hear my music. And if I only have a dozen songs to play, playing one cover is almost 10% of my songs. So
right.
Yeah, I tend to not do that, which is hard, because people respond so
extremely
quickly to covers. But I really, a couple of years ago, I made a conscious effort to just not play covers, so I don't.
I mean, a lot of the gigs that I get asked to do, if I do a corporate function or I do a birthday party, almost always they will ask me if I can sing this or if I can sing that. I mean, frankly, I don't wish to sound like a snob, but I'm not learning 20 new songs for one gig. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to learn 20 songs.
Absolutely not. Yeah, and if I get hired for something, then they know that I'm not going to play covers. So
yeah, I mean I do some because I think that unless they ask me, unless I'm going to something where I'm just singing my own stuff from my album, I will sing all of my own stuff.
Yeah.
But a lot of places you go, they kind of want I find they want something else as well, which I hate. But if you've got to do that to keep the audience, I guess that's what you got to do. So are you a managed act, or are you managing yourself?
I manage myself.
Me too.
Yeah.
And so do you pay yourself 20% at the end of each gig, or?
I pay myself. The best part about being managed is that I pay myself 100%.
Yeah,
absolutely. I say, you're a great manager. Please take it all.
Yeah, take it all, spend it all, do whatever you want to do with it. Yeah, I find that I had a manager until a couple of years ago, and most of the gigs because of the way I was like the manager that I was signed to, I had to do everything through them. That's the way the contract was, and I was finding most of the gigs myself and the things and roles and stuff. And I thought, why the hell am I paying you 20% plus a monthly fee and all of this BS? And I'm still finding my own gigs. So I fired my manager and then just took over and started doing it all myself, because, like you say, I would rather have 100% of the pot than 80 for someone sitting on their caboose and making 2 phone calls. You know, it's kind of.
Yeah, I mean, the manager really only works if they can make you 20% more money than you're making now. You know. So. Yeah,
absolutely. I think it is a very fine line. So I see from your bio that you were in Catholic seminary. How do you feel that your sexuality sits with your spirituality, and how do groups that insist that God hates gay people make you feel?
I mean, I think haters gotta hate, you know, whatever. If they're not gonna hate on gay people, they're gonna hate on someone else. So I don't really pay much attention to those folks.
Right.
You know, how does my sexuality influence my spirituality? I mean, I think it influences my ability to participate in an organized religion, such as the Catholic Church, because if it's a hierarchical religion and the hierarchy at the top is saying one thing that I don't believe in, well, then that's not going to be something that I subscribe to.
No,
but I don't think it affects my. You know, I think it affects the way that I see the world. So I think it affects everything. But I think because I have such an amazing husband, and such an amazing life, and have found so much warmth and love and friendship in the LGBT community, I think it helps me see the positive things in the world. I don't think it makes me see the negative or makes me hate God or anything like that.
No. Oh, no. I wasn't suggesting that for one moment. I mean, I'm 500% gay, and I don't believe that bars me from God or prevents me from having a relationship with God, because let's face it, you know, God as our author and creator has made us as we are, exactly as we are.
Yeah,
I don't feel that.
I've always felt the same way, and I think it's like if I was, you know, ascribing to the Christian religion, which believes that God is, you know, all powerful, all knowing, and all good, right? So these are 3 things that you have to ascribe to be a Christian. And then if you're gay, that means that God knew you were gay, and He did it on purpose. You know what I mean? If He's all knowing, all powerful, and all good, then can't possibly be a mistake. So it doesn't, you know, me rationally, that just never made sense. So, you know, me coming to terms with my sexuality in the context of religion, you know, it just was not a problem for me.
I mean,
I'm so I think like that.
I mean, I totally see that. I mean, a long time ago, I kind of went away from God for a long time, and I came to see that it was more the people in His church that had asked me over, as it were, and not God. And once I could separate what man did in His name from who He actually is, it kind of brought me running back. And I, you know, I'm very spiritual, and I do pray, and I do believe in God, and I don't think that my sexuality comes into that factor, because, like, if you're a straight person, you know, the fact that you sleep with women doesn't come into it either, does it? You know.
Exactly. Yeah, it's silly.
So tell me a little bit about your relationship with Logo. I love the channel and I love the people there, and I found them a little bit hard to get a foot in the door with. But I'm told that once you get, because a lot of my friends are kind of doing work with them, once you get a foot in the door with them, they're very kind of like, you're part of the family, as it were.
Well, I haven't done much with them in a while since they stopped doing the new non-next in the click list type of stuff.
Right.
You know, they used to be a lot more. They used to air a lot more independent LGBT videos, but now that they don't, I don't do too much with them, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, I found them to be easy to work with.
Yeah. Someone was telling me that over the past year and a half, they've had big budgeting issues because, obviously they're an independent channel and stuff. They've kind of cut back on a lot of stuff. I mean, they were considering one of my projects at the beginning of last year, but sadly it never came to anything. But I wish them well, and I wish the gay channel that they would kind of be doing a lot more. And I know finances for everybody are a kind of bind, but it is what it is, I guess, really. Well, let's what I want to do now is I want to play one of your songs. I want to play Lover. Do you want to set this up for us? Tell us a little bit about the song before I play it.
The song is a love song, but it's most commonly known for being part of one of my music videos for Lover. Was pretty popular. It kind of told the story of two people separated by war in Afghanistan. And so that's what you're seeing. My personal, when I wrote the song, was mostly being away from my husband, who wasn't at war. So, but it kind of, people started telling me that that's the way that they were seeing it, and that's the way that they were perceiving the song. And so I thought, like, oh, wow, that's really great, really interesting. I had never thought of it like that, and started to see it in a whole different light myself.
Cool. Okay, so let's listen to the track. I'm going to mute us both while the track is playing. So this is Lover by Tom Goss.
Winter rain, it falls too hard. Take my hand and take my heart. In these times when we're apart, you are still my lover. I can feel your whisper close, like the sweetness of a rose. When I turn, I hear your voice. You're my only lover. They say that everyone 1,000 years of love may come to wrap you up and tie your bones. Well, I've got mine. And you met me off the train. You knew my face, you knew my name. It's my soul you came to claim. Yeah, you healed me, lover. You held me close, you held me tight. Those arms, they took me through the night. Wake to grant me a new life. You inspire me, lover. They say that everyone 1,000 years of love may come to wrap you up and tie your bones. Well, I've got mine. Tragedy seems to strike at the peak of any life. No, no matter what I try, you are still my lover. I hold you close, I hold you fast, and wipe those tears back with my hand. And when we both return to sand, you are still my lover. They say that everyone thousand years of love may come to wrap you up and tie your bones, to steal your flesh and save your soul, and take you to the great unknown. Well, I've got mine.
Wow, that was Lover by Tom Goss. Great song there, Tom.
Thank you.
I like I like that when people write because I would classify that as a gay love song. There's a song that I wrote called "This Is Love," which I would also classify as a gay love song. Now I won't ever sing "she" in a song. That's just my personal preference. Do you sing? Would you sing "she" in a song, or would you say it?
Well,
would you change it?
I mean, I would sing "she" in a song if the song was written as such. But I don't really play covers, and I don't use pronouns really. I don't really.
Right.
So
I guess that's one way around it.
Well, I don't think about that. I'm trying to find any way around it. I just think that I'm speaking about something that's bigger than a gender. You know,
right.
I'm speaking
Absolutely.
about love. So. Absolutely.
People commenting in the chat room how much they enjoyed the song. One person said, "Where are we? He has a nice voice, not to mention nice abs." LOL. That was Austin in the chat room, and it's a phone interview, Austin, but the rest of it is done on the internet via a studio. And Carly said that is a good song. I'm sorry, I just refer
Carly
back
and
and forward. Sorry.
I said, well, thanks, Carly and Austin.
I keep going back and forth to the chat room because I hate it when people talk in chat and they don't get their kind of point across. So we will take some. Are you cool with taking some questions, Tom? If people want to call in.
Yeah, sure. I've got about 5 more minutes, and then we're going to be in another part where I think I'm going to drop you. So
right. Okay. Well, Okay, no problem. Well, if anybody does want to call in, it's 347-884-9061. That's 347-884-9061 to speak to Tom, to ask him a question, et cetera, et cetera. So you're doing a concert March 9th. Presented by the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, Atlanta. Now, I love the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, so I was involved in the London chapter for a while. How did you get involved with them, and what is the order of the Flaming Sugar Bakers? Do tell.
Well, I got involved. I've met them kind of all over the country, in various places: Dallas, San Francisco, Atlanta, and I just met them through performing in Atlanta and meeting people in Atlanta, and then they contacted me and said they wanted to do a show together and a fundraiser and all that kind of stuff. And I think what they do I think what they do is awesome. So I was happy to be a part of it. I don't know the reason for the name of their order, but I've wondered the same thing because it's really fun and a super cute name. So I don't know. I have to ask them when I see them why they're the bakers.
Absolutely, and maybe you can report back to us on that one. So
Absolutely.
What do you watch on TV, Tom? I find that people are always asking me why I don't watch Glee or any of the vampire series. And I tell you, the next person that asks me, I'm going to frickin' scream. I mean, is it a requirement of these shows to keep my fag badge intact? I mean, what are you watching? Please tell me it's not Glee.
I don't watch either of those shows. I don't really watch TV that much, but if I do, I'm on Netflix and I watch series on Netflix. I loved Breaking Bad. I can't wait to get to the end of Breaking Bad. I'm a season behind. I'm looking forward to that.
Right.
But that's really it. I don't really watch that much TV. I really was into Breaking Bad. That show is awesome. But besides that, I don't watch too much TV or movies, really.
Cool.
I mostly play music and hang out with Mike.
Someone's asking in the chat room if I wouldn't mind asking you if you have any shows planned for, and forgive my pronunciation, Missoula, MT, I think that's Montana, or Spokane, WA, which I think is Washington.
I haven't been to Missoula since 2009 and Spokane since 2010, I think. I would love to be in Missoula and or Spokane. I'm not sure where your listener's from, but if he emails me at tom@tomgossmusic.com, I'd be happy to talk to him about it and find something that works for everybody, because I really dug Missoula, especially. Very, very awesome town. Very cool.
Cool. Well, maybe, Austin, you could follow Tom on Facebook or Twitter, and you can maybe talk about that a little.
Yeah, shoot me an email.
bit.
I'm always willing to play. I'm always happy to play
more.
For, big places, small places. I like meeting new people. I like going to new places. So just reach out to me, and we'll see what we can make happen.
Cool. So I got to ask you, are you any relation to the British singers Matt and Luke Goss, who were in a pop group in the 80s called Bros? Have you heard of them?
No, I didn't know that he was in that band, but I've seen him. Yes.
Yeah, one of them is acting now, aren't they? I think it's Matt who's acting now.
Yeah. I think you're maybe. I don't know. Sometimes people ask me that question, and sometimes they pop up when I'm trying to find something, and I think that's them, not me. But no, I'm not related to them, to my knowledge.
No, they could probably be your dad. Well, I don't know if they could be. How old are you?
I'm 31.
Yeah, no, I don't think they could be your dad. But
yeah.
It's certainly the name when I saw it written down. It's would have been the same as theirs. I did wonder if there were any connection. So I saw in an interview that you did with someone, and the name escapes me. You talked about liking bigger guys and the fact that your husband Mike is a bigger guy. Does the terminology chubs and chasers offend you? And do you feel that there's a level of discrimination towards bigger guys and gals in the gay community?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't really put labels on things. I know that I've never chased anybody in my life, so I'm not really sure that's apropos to me. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that people are too hung up on labeling and subsequently judging what other people do, what other people like, whether it's sexually or, one of the hardest questions for people to ever answer is what kind of music do you like? Every single person you ask that will say, I like everything except rap and country. Almost every single person. And if you say, who are you really into right now? They won't say anything because everybody's always afraid that somebody's going to hate on whatever they're into. You know what I mean? And I think that's that part of society, and I think you see that a lot in the gay community. So I'm not really into stuff like that. I'm into people really loving what they love. I love my husband. I love everything about him. So, I don't know. I don't really know how to answer that question.
Right. No, that's absolutely fair. I mean, the reason I kind of asked about it is, because I'm a bigger guy and I'm in the gay community, and I find that sometimes there is this kind of level of discrimination, because in the gay community there's this thinking that if you're not 6 foot tall and blonde and you're not at the top of that dating tree, and as I'm sure you would agree, to me it's the biggest load of BS ever, because it's about the person. It's about the person, not anything else.
Well, and I think what you have to realize is that, like I said earlier, like, haters gotta hate. So if they're gonna hate you for, not being thin, well, if you become thin, they're gonna hate you for something else. It's not really like, I don't really put much thought into it or put attention to it or put any energy into it whatsoever, to be honest with you.
No. Okay.
I think it's
right.
important just to be authentic,
I agree with you totally. I'm not going to burst into a rousing chorus of I am what I am, but it would be kind of appropriate right now. Okay, so do you feel the face of music has moved back again to kind of real singers? Because for a long time it was a lot of factory-produced stuff that, not that it's so bad, but music is constantly changing. But do you feel like the real singers have come back to the forefront of music again?
I don't know. I mean, I think there's a lot of really, really great vocalists out there. I think there are some people that are produced in the studio, and I think there's some people that are somewhere in between. I think there's a mix. I think that's one of the great things about accessibility of artists these days, is you have a mix of everything. So I don't think so. I don't think it's about the singers. I think it's probably just as much as it's always been. I mean, Adele had a really great couple of years, so that's probably why you're seeing some of that trend. I think
absolutely.
It used to get cyclical. So yeah, I think there's probably just as many as always, because there's as many people that are into great vocalists, they're into music that doesn't have great vocalists. So you need to have all of it, to appease everybody.
So who do people tell you sound like when you sing? I always get told that I sound like the host from the TV show Angel, which I guess is a compliment. But who do people say that you sound like? Who does your voice put them in mind of?
They say Dave Matthews or David Gray. They say pretty much a lot of the stuff on the influences. I've gotten a lot of different ones, but I think my voice is pretty unique. It's not. I don't know. It's got a lot of quirks to it. So the quirks that I suppose that I tend to hate and always try to cover up are the same quirks that people are really attracted to, that makes it different from everybody else. So
I see that. Okay, well, we're drawing to a close very soon, Tom. So what we normally do at this point, we normally play one of two games. We normally either play marry, fuck, or kill, or we play quick fire questions. So as you're married, what I tend to do with married people is just to go with the quick fire questions, because I think that the people who are married are always concerned that their partner's going to hear their choices in the marry, fuck, or kill game. So let's play the quick fire question game to finish off the show. All right.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of that other game, so let's not play that game.
Well, it's a good job that I didn't do that.
Good.
Okay, so first question. This is not so much a quick question, but if you were to arrange a dinner party and could invite any 4 people, living or dead, apart from me, of course, and David Gray and Dave Matthews, who would you invite?
Well, right now I'd invite Macklemore because I'm super obsessed with him. I'd invite my husband because if we were hanging out with really cool people, he'd want to be there, and I want him to be there. Who would be my third person to round out this dinner party? I don't know. Maybe Nelson Mandela.
Cool. Very, very cool answer. Yep, Nelson Mandela is a very interesting person. All right, tidy whities or boxer briefs?
Well, I wear boxers mostly, but I wear boxer briefs when I work out.
Okay. All the gay men in the chat room now have got visual of that one. Law and order, special victims or a criminal intent?
I think special victims unit, but I'll get mixed up in my head because my mom watches them nonstop.
Right.
So
as most Americans do.
they all seem to be mixed up because they just like, I don't know. I think special victims unit. It's got that Italian guy, right? The psychologist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Flu jab, yay or nay?
Flu jab?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
You don't know what the flu jab is? It's like a jab you can get to stop you getting the flu.
Oh, like a flu shot?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not opposed to a flu shot. I didn't get one this year, but I don't mind shots. So if there's an opportunity to get one, I get one usually.
I don't mind shots, but usually I want them to be tequila. Okay, Fox or CNN?
What are CNN?
Fox.
Can I do ESPN instead?
I guess you can, yeah.
ESPN then.
All right, snow or no?
Well, today I definitely wanted snow.
I get that because you were skiing. Mickey D's or Burger King?
Well, neither of them. Subway. I like Subway.
Okay. On immigration, deport or naturalize?
Well, I'm not sure you can do that in a black and white. I think it would depend on the situation.
Well, if you had to choose one, what would it be? Would you deport people, or would you?
I would definitely never choose one without the information because that could only get you in trouble.
Okay, right. On abortion, ban it or right to choose?
Again, it's very situational. You're not gonna get me to pick a side without any information on anything.
Okay, Dolly Parton or Lady Gaga?
I don't know. I guess Dolly Parton.
Okay, last question: Lady Gaga or Madonna?
I don't know. I don't really listen to either of them.
Come on, Tom, you got to choose Lady Gaga or Madonna. Who is your queen? And don't say your husband.
neither of them are my queen. Joss Stone. That's the voice I want.
Yeah, but she wasn't one of the choices.
I don't know. Gosh, I honestly don't really care. So I guess I'll say Madonna because I think that'll make more people happy.
Okay. Well, tell people where you are next appearing, Tom, and also tell people where they can find you on the interweb.
Well, you can reach me at tomgossmusic.com, which is spelled like it sounds, or you can just go Tom Goss and you'll find me everywhere. Facebook.com/Tom Goss, Twitter.com/Tom Goss Music. Everything's Tom Goss Music, so just Google Tom Goss Music and it'll all come up. I'm going on tour in the South in March, so I'll be heading down to Atlanta and stopping a bunch of places en route, and then I'll be heading up to Boston and stopping a bunch of places en route in Northeast in March as well. So just check my dates. Dates are popping up every single day to see more and more and more, and I'll head up to the West Coast in April and May. So I'll pretty much go for maybe even Missoula.
Maybe even Missoula. You heard that, Austin. Well, listen, Tom, thank you very much for joining us today. You have a very safe drive home.
Thank you for having me.
And we will keep tabs on your career. You are most welcome. So thanks a lot, and you take care, Tom.
No problem. Have a great night.
You too. Well, that was singer Tom Goss. Thanks so much for being my guest today. Join me next week where my guest co-host is comedian Chelsea Carney. Thank you so much for all of your continued support to date. I am really blown away by the number of people that that listen to my show and the people that support me. The figures are just mind-blowing. To be honest, when I first started doing the show, I would really have just been flattered if 50 people had listened to the show. But when I'm getting listing figures in excess of 1,000, sometimes 2,000 per show, I'm really blown away. So thank you all once again. Some great stuff coming up next month. We're going to have a show on health and beauty and health and beauty products. We've got Will Noonan coming back, the comedian. He's going to come back once a month to join us. And also, I'm working on arranging a date for the amazing designer and TV star Bobby Trendy to come on the show for an interview. So thank you very much to everybody in chat. Thank you to Carly, to Rich, to Austin, and all the guests. I'm not going to read out the numbers. Please join me next week, 5 p.m., for another gripping episode of XANDERMONIUM with me, Xander Gibb. Thank you very much. Stay safe out there. I love you all. Bye.
Love, it has been good to me this time around. Things were bound to change when it was